in bringing Yomi Fabiyi in. At that point in time, Mr. Joseph Aloba was about to wriggle his way himself out of the shenanigans. And I would have actually thought, when I got in and had a discussion, I wanted to know the reason why Yomi Fabiyi himself did not pay homage to Mr. Joseph Aloba, because I would have actually thought you just go straight to the man and say, sorry to hear about your loss and all that kind of stuff. I'm a foundation, I want to work with you. But straight away there was a demarcation, there was a division, and Oloriebi obviously allowed the same way he's allowed Karimo and Comfy to distract us, allowed Yomi Fabiyi. And when Sammy Jojo, the Wendy of an individual, of a handle, who has always been there since inception, got in there to do what he does best, what did he do? He jumped in bed with Supreme. Now, the moment Sammy Jojo, who is working with the assailants, that involved in welcoming Yomi Fabiyi, Sammy Jojo, working with the assailants, the people in question that are now being exposed, jumped in bed with Aries. Aries blinded by self-righteousness, self-acclamation, self-obsession, narcissistic behavior to the grand space of where you can find it. Delusion of grandeur and the egoism, the egoistic massage my shoulder, massage my ego, became so supreme, lost upstairs, and actually thought, yes, it is me that will give you justice. But she made a mistake. The biggest mistake Supreme made was to go and attack Temi's platform. And that was her downfall. And that's the reason why, whatever she may have done before, she's allowed Sammy Jojo to get in. And Sammy Jojo is working for the same people that brought Yomi Fabiyi into the process. And that was the end of Aries. Aries will never rise again. There's nothing Aries will do that will ever materialize to anything useful. So we just need to focus on now the family, all the engagement of all the people we've been able to push out into the open, their activities. We now need to know their involvement with the family. Because it took about 3 weeks, roughly to 4 weeks, for us to get to where we are today. And now that we're where we are, let's be on our guard. Let's trust ourselves because we've engaged with ourselves. All the people that have been compromised are people we're no longer engaging with now because we know their antecedents. We actually can see the result of what they've done in the underground, and we've managed to expose them. So we can't work with the family, and we can't work with the assailants. We can't work with Yomi Fabiyi, and we shouldn't work with Aries, aka Supreme Iron Lady. And that leaves the rest of us. That leaves Paparano. Yes, maybe we need to, as African television will say, we are back to the beginning. So, if we're back to the beginning, their mobilization was dangerous. Their mobilization was one that is going to deprive you of your fundamental human rights. We'll go to the Geneva Convention and they will say, why would you want to rob a human being, a citizen, of their fundamental human rights by incarcerating them with some dodgy mobilization unjudiciously and withdraw the right of them? And can you actually believe that Nigeria is a rogue state and the presidency doesn't know about it. The governorship, Lagos State doesn't know about it. That Yomi Fabiyi and Aries and the rest of their assailants and their aficionados want to rogue Adura of his human rights, the fundamental side of it. Maybe after 48 hours, you have to let him go if you're not charging him. And then someone is mobilizing, and I welcome African TV saying it's bribe. There's no mobilization. You don't mobilize the police into criminality. So by the time you do that, what do we get? You hold him again his wish or his will. If he's not saying what you want him to say, what are you going to do? You're going to buy him the way you pied his brother? Because you're going to have to do something to this guy. And someone has the audacity. All we wanted to do was to separate King White from Adura. Why, Aries? Has anyone ever come to you to try and separate you from your parents? Separate your children from you? Unjudiciously? With criminality? Because you are desperate to put something on the table. Anyone who wants to get involved with Aries, I don't want to mention too many names today. And you will notice I'm doing eye level now. I'm doing damage limitation now. And we're going to look at things holistically. And I'm not going to be mentioning names. Because if I mention their names, they're going to flag this show and they're going to shut it down. That's what they did to me the last time. Because the truth they don't want to come out eventually came out. It's now out. So me that you want to shut down, I don't even have to call your name because now we know the full story. We know who is who. We have your audio as you've got people's camera downs. We now have your audio. And you can't get away with it. Someone will fabricate stories. And the facts are there. Anyone who wants to engage with me on DM, you better be careful. I am not going to expose you, but I will show the world the truth. So you don't have to just crop up the bit that works for you, push it out to want to malign my character. I'm the master of the game. I show the world old 2 pages of engagement, of which you were keen. I suggested it, and you were even keen to the point of my last show. You still wanted to know when I'm going live, and you are still lying. This is it, because the aristocrat, go and look on his profile. He posted something about words, about the things we say, about our utterances. Sometimes the way you speak is your character. Sometimes the way you respond is your character. And sometimes by the time we put the two of it together, we know who you are. Because that's not going to change. Look at African television. No matter what we do, what advice sacrifice we give him in the last 21 months almost now. He will give it to you. African TV will come up and give it to you. Sponsoring them, you will find out that it's a state that is sponsoring them. It's Lagos State that is sponsoring them from the beginning. And we should have known that there are moles. And I said it and I connected it and I put it together, I pushed it out. And we keep pushing. And we are here today. And everybody that got involved, we didn't do any DM, we didn't do any black cap, but we just need to look amongst ourselves and start being suspicious of ourselves, just as Messi Idris said. Oh, I don't trust you. I don't want you to trust me. And then slowly, it clicks. It clicks. It clicks. It clicks. You keep putting it together. Bossman and myself, I went into their camp. I sat on their window. I ruffled their feathers.
IT guy, sorry, I heard you. Sorry to interject you. I'm sorry, sir. Good morning, sir.
Carry on. Good morning.
Yes, I really actually wanted to interrupted him before he came because I'm at work, man. I just want to say because I should not be hypocrite, like listening to you, pretending as if even me, I've never got this kind of feeling that Lady Aries had, that she thinks dividing or separating King White with Adura maybe might lead or we can have some truth from Adura. You know why? The day Mr. Yomi Fabi made that press conference, the way Adura body language was in that press conference, everybody keeps saying that Adura have something to say. I think Adura wanted to speak to Mr. Yomi. I think Adura is tired, So many of us started saying that I think it is King White that is, that is stopping Adura not to speak or doing something that is making Adura to be comfortable that not to speak the truth. So I felt it too, that I think if they separate King White and Adura, that would lead to Adura saying the truth. So for them doing it unlawfully, it's not, I'm against it. Because what I said that time was, I need Baba Mohbad to do that. Because Baba Mohbad is the legal father of Adura. I said, why is Baba Mohbad not taking steps, even to report King White to the police that he has held his son hostage? It's this kind of thing. But like what they did, I did not support it. Like doing mobilization to keep Adura more in the cell or King White illegally. Because even if doing that without the authorities' knowledge that there is a crime, like Adura have committed a crime or King White have committed a crime, they will end up leaving them just the way they did. So as long as there is no crime, they have no right to keep them. But even me, I had that feeling once that Adura to be separated with King White. Thank you very much.
Let me address that very quickly. I think a lot of lies. That's a very good question. A very good question. Very good. A lot of lies have been told. The problem with the public actually have is that we are quick to jump to conclusion. Don't forget that Yomi Fabiyi. Let's have a look at this. Yomi Fabiyi was having a conference. He claimed he did not invite the Alobas. I don't know whether that. I won't expect Adura to say anything. And Yomi Fabiyi took advantage of some of the stuff in there, said some stuff, asserted some stuff. Adura may have said something and what have you. And Adura, just like Prime Boy. You see, these boys are not stupid. Even if Adura asserted on the day that there is a 10 minutes video. Now, the same Adura that may be part of the process of the 3 seconds video, knowing that the 10 minutes video has nothing in it, will say anything to make you feel happy. And if that's what he did, so be it. Now, let me now take it further. Now, we get to this point now. Aries has got the money. Yomi needs some pocket money. Now, Aries, do you have any brain at all? The Supreme Iron Lady. If you have a brain at all, you know that originally we all along we knew it was Adura that did the embalmment. We also know that during the inquest, there was an outburst that Joseph Aloba was not able to address when Darosha said it was Joseph Aloba himself that gave him the authorization to embalm Mohbad. Now, so we knew about that. Somewhere along the line, Adura came up with his own little stint to muddle the water a bit and said he was the one that embalmed his brother. So now that we know this is intertwined and we don't know where to go or whether we're going or coming, why would Aries then get involved in an intertwined situation where we will never actually get to the bottom of it, where Darosha had an entry in the CTC that it was Joseph Aloba that instructed him, Darosha, to embalm Mohbad. And that is to say that Yomi Fabiyi was desperately in need of money. And I don't know what Supreme was thinking when she then said, all we wanted to do is to separate King White from Adura. But at the same time, you agreed to give 1.1 million for Adura to be held against his will unconstitutionally. So it was a dead end for them. Yomi was looking for money. Aries did not know what she was doing at that point. And then the whole thing went apeshit. And when Yomi Fabiyi collected the money, and he realized at that point in time that Aries was going to blow the whistle, that when you collected the money by morning time, Adura had already left. Can we have the money back? Yomi Fabiyi started scrambling to look for what he's going to use against Aries. And whoever reaches the public first is the one that the public will listen to. Unfortunately, Aries has nothing to fight the cause. The only thing she can say is, I gave him 1.1 million. But then Uncle Yomi came up with his forensics. Joseph Aloba collected money, GoFundMe. He mentioned forensics. The only forensic they did was to go and hack someone's phone, courtesy of a phantom by Abiodun Lawal and all that. Now, don't forget, before I close this one, before I mute my mic, Sammy Jojo claimed, and I quote, He engaged with Abiodun Lawal for 2 months. As it come public, this is in recent times, and this is when this shenanigan was taking place. Sami Jojo, not Yomi, not Aries, engaged with Abiodun Lawal as they come public to come and give us a step-by-step information, a transcription of what took place step by step, the DM on Black App or all the entries on the Green App. Think about what these people are doing. Lying profusely to the public. I mute my mic. Thank you.
Can I say something?
Eclistic wanted to speak. If you're available, you can speak. Well, she's not available. Whoever was just saying that can speak.
It was actually me. I think, everybody, we've all really done well, in this justice for Mohbad. I don't want to throw shades, on anyone, because I think sometimes we do too much because we want the truth, to come out, and then sometimes we entangle ourselves with the wrong group, but at the end of the day, as long as we get justice, I think that is what really matters. Because if I'm not, if somebody can correct me, I'm sure African TV also did the same thing when he wanted to, get in the middle of Adura and King White. But then when he brought it to the public, we, the public, were the one that also said, why would you go to the wrong camp? And sometimes you have to go out of your way if truly you want what is just. So I am not going to write Lady Aries off by, having to cross over to the other camp. Maybe she was just thinking, maybe if she tried doing that, we will still get this justice for this young man, So when African TV said that Lady Aries didn't, know what she was doing, so I think maybe she did know what she was doing. She just wanted this justice. But sometimes we all try too much, because at the end of the day, none of us are going to actually take the trophy home. But as long as this young man gets justice by hook or by crook, that is what matters at the end of the day. And what
personally, I think trying to get justice with injustice is not getting justice.
Yeah, with injustice is not justice, yes. Because them trying to detain Adura longer than, what he was supposed to be there for, that is a no-no for me. Because when you get someone arrested within 24 hours without evidence, that person needs to be released. And then you can now go and do your findings, and whatever you have against that person needs to be brought forth as an evidence. And maybe Adura doesn't even know what happened to his brother. We don't know. So, but then again, it is left for the authorities to find that. But the authorities we are all having our trust on, are they willing to really do what they're supposed to do? And at the end of the day, are these people ready to cooperate with the authorities so that their brother can get justice? Because the authorities are not going to give us justice if these people are not ready to cooperate with the authorities. That is another thing. Because, in Nigeria, sometimes we want to use jungle justice to get the truth. Because a lot of them, especially these young ones, they don't want to tell the truth. They even rather go to their grave with the truth. So now, what is the way forward? RT guy, can you help me?
I want to address something. Let's have a look at one thing at a very high level. Now, you see these boys involved in this process, Adura, Darosha, Spending, DJ Bami, all these people, Prime Boy and all that. You see, these boys, they belong to a different generation. And they're very clever at any manners of disguises, and they have their codes as well. And you may think they are not engaging in the background. As I've always said in the past, every member of the Aloba family, including Wunmi, they are communicating with themselves in the background. Now, let's have a look at this. Given that those boys are not stupid, right? Prime Boy got up to a point, he decided he's going to sue the police. Yeah, it's off the hook. Prime Boy, in collusion with Spending at some point, fooled a big Yeye Kudi and boss man. And they bailed them. The criminals that we thought are criminals, courtesy of boss man and Yeye Kudi and their clan, including Comrade Moses, got this guy out. Westo was involved. Start thinking about the connection. They got those guys out. Do you not think that those young guys outsmarted them? Now,
guy, you're very correct.
Let me finish. I did not interject when you were speaking. Let me finish. Back to Aries. Nothing against a woman, but I will speak my mind. And I will carry on speaking my mind. And you guys know me for that. Now, Aries is supposed to be on our side, the scientists, Paparano, all of us, aristocrats, all of us how we started. Right? TSL, Mercy Idris, Aduke, all of us on the scientist side. Now, did Aries engage with any of us before she decided that she's going to pick up a fight with Temi's platform? Now, when she wasn't able to impregnate and penetrate that area, she actually seeks solace for a period of time on MFM's platform. MFM did not give her the kind of reception she needed, but MFM cleverly accommodated her. Look at the age difference between Aries and Temi and MFM. You can see when I say she is causing trouble and making a public nuisance of herself in the presence of kids, children that are young enough to be a daughter. If she had a child at the age of 16, MFM, she would have had MFM and Temi. Now, and then when you kind of give people sense of irony that you are engaging with King White, you didn't make it explicit. You make it playful. It was like a jocular side of life. You made it playful, but you did not make it explicit, and you did not make it, you didn't kind of translate to the public with all manners of seriousness. Now that you've gone around the blocks, and then you've jumped into bed with King White, or you attempted. Now, let me also tell you something. MFM is thought, allegedly, that she's looking after the mental health of Mama Mohbad. Abosede. Someone needs to do that anyway. Now, MFM is not going to have issue with King White. Rightfully so. King White is being in conversation. She's been in Temi's camp, and he has the right to the camp and do his own thing. So, protecting Adura and Mama Adura. So MFM's platform over a period of time, I sit on the window every day, every morning, when King White was present there every morning. And that is how I get my information. That is how I get my intelligence about what is going on. Now, so if you think about that, now, why is Joseph Aloba, knowing that Adura is protected, why does Adura not want to engage with Joseph Aloba? Why is Abosede and King White protecting Adura from Joseph Aloba? Now, why is Blessing silenced. And why is it? That is Joseph Aloba, that is the spokesperson for Blessing. Now, you Aries allowed yourself to be infiltrated the moment you decide to jump into bed with Elekmon Jolo, the goat himself, the e-goat himself, not the greatest of all time, Sammy Jojo. And then Aries came recently and paying for his school fees, is going to school of journalism. Aries, is that the best you can come up with? Is the best you can come up with is to tell us that you put 1 million into Naturals Foundation. Paparano raised the money relentlessly. 1 million for Yomi Fabiyi in less than 2 hours. Should you not be ashamed of yourself and your conduct? You see, if I rumble in the gutters with the pigs, and I get on the street and I want to deny the pigs because I'm now in my tuxedo, then there is a problem. Now, if you're on Aries' camp, stay there. But if you cannot speak the truth when you see it, just hold it right there. But when we see wrongdoings, Aries she beat more than she can chew. Aries could not have gone there single-handedly, because if Aries had engaged with the likes of us on this side where she came to lie to us, to kind of mago, sakamaje, and skaskamaje us in a manipulative way. At some point when Aries lost it and she did not know where to dwell, she ended up on body. Do I need any follower? No. I will swallow Aries whole in less than 2 minutes, because Aries epitomizes every shades of wrong. In the last 21 months in Justice for Mohbad, on the scientist side, she came, she fooled us, she manipulated people, collected her own group and her own army, and she used them. Very recently, I was on a platform, very wicked lady. I am Yinka. There, I joined, and I am Yinka. They said on a platform, whether it's Paparano's platform, they dropped her. Aries, you used us. Because she felt used by Aries. They didn't give her the opportunity to speak. What did they do? They dropped her. So if you want to tell me the Aries story, I will tell you 100%. I was never asleep. You see, I don't record. The only thing I write down is I write stuff down during my show. Every show, I have a blank piece of paper. And sometimes when I really want to put the pieces of the jigsaw together, I have a piece of paper from what I put together and I will run my show around it. We've all been useful to the cause. Look at what they did to Pekin and Yinkade. Look at Muiwa's involvement in that. Look at how they manage Gurexi. How they manage to destroy everything. Now, the ones that we found that I will know their names already, I don't want to mention because I don't want them to shut this platform down. What are their antecedents? How did they manage to get Brekete out of the show? How did they manage to introduce their own foundation? Due to conflict of interest, the CEO, Joseph Aloba himself, thought, for 19 years when I was young, coming to the diaspora, getting involved in our judicial process on the internet, our election before now. Yomi Fabi beats them all, every single one of them, to become his own Jagaban, built his own Asho Rock on a black app, on this black app. No website, no mission statement, no vision, no accountability, no transparency. He used the public money to work against the public. Are you guys really with it? Are we all really with it? The moment Yomi takes your money, it becomes blood money. Because he's using it to jump in bed with the police. Have you ever come across Fawayemi and the rest of all the people we had in the Sarowiwa, Deleige, and all the people that have advocated on behalf of us as human beings to make sure we get our rights? Fela Nicola Kokuti befriend the Nigerian police. And when I was fighting him then, Yomi Fabi, you can't be coming to us and be praising the police. What did we do? What did we do? We all sat down there applauding him. Now, human rights advocates, an NGO, a foundation. Have you seen Nelson Mandela spend his entire adult life in prison? Because if he signed that paper and he agreed with them during the apartheid days and all the lockups, they will have released him.